stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
So last summer, leading up to my 100th episode, I did a tour of the Epcot World Showcase and reviewed a movie that corresponded with each pavilion. Sure, some were easy like Coco, Mexico, Frozen, Norway, but for the big finale, I had nothing for Canada. I ended up doing Brother Bear because Canadian icons Bob and Doug McKenzie voiced the bumbling moose. So a bit of a swing and a miss. Then 2 months later, I watch Ira and Will that takes place in Winnipeg, and now Turning Red drops, a movie based in Toronto. So not a VHS this week, we're going new. I mean, on one hand, this is great, go Canada. On the other hand, of course, it's in Toronto. Like, British Columbia apparently didn't answer their phone, so Toronto it was. There was no third option. The project would have been scrapped if they couldn't land BC, and Toronto said no. Okay, we press play on Disney+. Pixar intro. That eye gets stomped again and it was asking for it. Honor your parents is the #1 rule in this little girl's family. She's worried about honoring her parents so much that she doesn't honor herself. Record scratch. No, she doesn't have that problem at all. Her name is Mei Ling Lee, and ever since she turned 13, she's been doing her own thing. She's talking to the camera like Ferris Bueller. Disney presents Turning Red. She busts into school. Besties assemble. Miriam, Priya, and Abby. May has taken a test and proudly answers Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. I'll bet the question was, which province's premiers don't believe COVID-19 is real? She plays the flute. She's in grade 8. One guy calls her an overachieving dork. Her crew hits a daisy mart. There's a boy working there, and everyone is into him except May. She reminds her thirsty friends what real men look like. Four Town is the boy band they love. Her friends reply, tickets to Four Town are expensive, and Devon's right here. And that is the most truthful thing anyone has ever said about relationships, possibly ever. They sing a Four Town song. Speaking of towns, I miss O-Town. Remember when Ikaika was recalled by the Hawaiian community, so he quit the band and then immediately started his own band? And Ashley Angel, oh man, making the band was such a great show. Pre-prison, Lou Pearlman, right? Rest in peace. Anyway, May works for her parents. They own and run one of the oldest temples in Toronto. May's mom has high hopes for her and says her ancestors would be so proud. May's ancestors were guardians of the red pandas. I feel like this is going to be an important detail moving forward. Wide shot of the city. We see the CN Tower. That's really fun. Animation in this movie is great. Mom and May are eating and watching a soap opera. They see a commercial for Four Town. The band is kicking off their North American tour, and okay, I get why this movie is set in Toronto now. Because when a famous band goes on a world tour, the only Canadian stop they ever make is Toronto. That checks. Well done, Disney. If this movie tried to tell me that a famous band was doing a world tour and its Canadian stop included Moose Jaw, I would have listed that as the most unrealistic thing to ever happen in a Disney movie. Montage of all of May's trophies and ribbons and awards. She's doodling, and suddenly she draws a dude that kind of looks like Devon from the convenience store. She realizes she also has the hots for Devon. She draws him cuddling her and then draws him as a mermaid. Just some weird but this is a great scene. The way she hits the ground and rolls under the bed made me laugh out loud. Mom comes in and sees her daughter acting weird and immediately finds the notebook of like dirty sketches of her and Devon, and she's like, who is this boy? Did he do these things to you? She recognizes the hat and she's like, is this that sketchy dude from the convenience store? I gotta go deal with this. And she drives May there and embarrasses her daughter by accusing this boy to his face of hitting on her much younger daughter. All this happens in front of a crowd of May's peers. Mom pulls out and the sketches May did. And the kids laugh and May is mortified and all the kids laugh and Devon has no idea who she is or what's going on. All right, come on. Like, would that really happen? Whatever. In the car on the way home, May swallows her anger and makes fists and tells her mom, nope, all good. Jump cut to her screaming into her pillow. May rips up the art and tells herself in the mirror that she's terrible. Great maple leaf nightshirt. It's nighttime and something magical is going down. Candles blow out and shrines explode and there's thunder and rain, and she has a pretty dark and trippy nightmare for 2022 Disney. The next morning she wakes up and she's been transformed into a giant red panda. She's freaking out in the bathroom and her parents are concerned and they're like knocking on the bathroom door, "Are you okay?" And mom's like, "Did you get your period?" And then dad stops dead in his tracks and slowly backs up. That's really funny. She cries that she's a gross red monster. She hides in the shower as mom comes in with a million different kinds of like pads and tampons. And as a husband that's been sent to the store like a billion times to grab supplies for my girlfriend then wife, that joke lands hard. It's mind-boggling the differences. She combs her hair and then turns back into a girl and immediately pops back into a red panda. So she realizes that remaining calm keeps her in human form, and stress, like a spiked heart rate, turns her into the panda. She's navigating school, trying not to get triggered, and I feel that. I think we all feel that. Her friends are like, "We heard your mom went nuts at the Daisy Mart." She grows a tail and makes it disappear. She has it under control and she goes to class, but now her mom is suddenly outside her classroom, like in the yard, hiding behind a tree, trying to get her attention. The school security guard approaches her to see what's happening, and her mom starts yelling at May through the classroom window, "Tell him I'm your mom and you forgot your pads," and holds up a box of tampons, and May explodes into a burst of purple smoke and is the giant red panda once again. Mom saw the transformation, but the other kids didn't, as they all had their noses pressed against the window. May runs into the washroom and escapes through the window. Now she's running through the streets of Toronto like a monster, jumping from rooftop to rooftop all nimbly bimbly. She makes it home with mom hot on her tail, which is funny because she has a tail, and don't laugh at that. The dad comes in and says, "What's happening?" Or, "Is it happening already?" And May is like, "What did you say?" So backstory time. Their ancestors loved red pandas so much that one of them asked the gods to turn her into a mystical red panda to fight off the village intruders. May starts losing her mind, but mom says, "There's a cure. I know there's a cure because this happened to me and I was cured." She overcame it. Her daughter May will too. At the next red moon, they will undergo a ritual and May will be free from this curse. But the more anger she releases, the more she becomes the red panda, and then the more powerful the red panda is, and then the ritual is harder to perform, so she has to remain calm and not in panda form as little as possible until the 25th. The next red moon, which is a whole month away. They put a mattress in an empty room so she doesn't have to worry about any accidents or being triggered by anything. She listens to her parents talk about how awful this is as she cries herself to sleep and turns into a panda again. Next scene, her mom is vacuuming up a bunch of red hair off everything. That's kind of funny. May is in the empty room, throwing herself into the walls, changing back and forth. Her friends show up in the window. They're like, "Four towns coming to Toronto," and she in panda form just suddenly puts her face in the window like, "What?" And the jig is up. She pulls her friends into the room and they're like, "Are you a werewolf, May?" And she pours her heart out. Four Town is coming to Toronto on the 18th, 1 week before the red moon and the seance or whatever. The poor girl, you know, she's probably actually going to get her period now. A great giant panda period. Her friends do the only thing you can do when you find out an ancient family curse changed your friend into a giant red monster. They rap. They don't care that she's a monster and they all hug. As they hug, she turns back into a girl. She figures out she remains calm when in the presence of her friends because they soothe her. They have a soothing capability. Wow. My grade 8 friends were like, "Let's dumpster dive and throw cans of expired pop at the school bell until it falls off." So, you know, the opposite of this. Okay, the parents try to trigger her, like they're trying on purpose, and she keeps her cool. She's learned to control the red panda. Also, is the term red panda a euphemism for your period? It should be if it's not. So after proving she can handle it, she asks her parents if she can go to the Four Town concert, and they say no! Well then. It's a $200 ticket. Mom says, who do they think they are? Celine Dion, which is super funny, because here in Canada, Celine Dion is a god. May's mom's mom, like May's grandma, calls and says she knows what happened. May is with her friends, and the girls talk about their individual parents' reactions to the concert. None of them are good. Some boy with braces calls her a loser, and she goes like Billy Madison dodgeball on him and uses her panda arm to rifle the ball at his head. He ducks just in time and avoids being decapitated as the ball shatters the school window behind him. They come up with a plan to get to the concert, all four of them. They're going to do the classic sleepover lie and then sneak out to the concert. She turns into a panda to like amuse her friends, just as some other girls walk into the washroom and they're like, they see her in panda form, they think she's adorable, so May and her friends come up with a plan to use the panda to generate money to buy the concert tickets. This is a fun plot. Montage time. She's in panda form, posing in front of a giant Canadian flag as the other students pay money to get their picture taken with her. They make panda merch. We see the colorful Canadian money being exchanged. That's wonderful. Time moves forward. The concert is this Saturday. They are still $100 short. Tyler, the kid with the braces that almost killed by the dodgeball, blackmails May, threatening her to tell her mom. Tyler wants the red panda to appear at his birthday party on Friday because he's worried no one's going to come to his party. She charges him $200 and he's like, fine, deal. She's sneaking out that night pretending to go to Mathletes, and Mom is like, I want to come with you to Mathletes. I love Mathletes. They get out the door and May panics and finally spins around and goes, Mom, I don't want you to come. And before I can like fully go down, May's grandma shows up with her posse of relatives, and May can't sneak out now. They're all stuck in the living room talking. Tyler's party is falling apart because May is stuck at home. There's no red panda. Grandma can't believe May passed every trigger test, and May is trying to bail. She pretends to go to bed and immediately makes a break out her window, but Grandma comes in her room and she's like trying to escape, and she's like, if you could control it, why did I find all this red fur? She's like, girl, you can't keep letting the panda out. If it gets too strong, the ritual isn't gonna work and you're gonna be stuck with this forever. She says, you can't turn into a panda anymore. But Tyler's party, people are about to leave Tyler's party. It's a flop. But then May shows up in like a bad red panda suit. She's like, wubba, wubba, wubba. Tyler is not happy. He wants the real red panda. Everyone is angry, and she tells her friends she can't panda anymore. They don't get the $200, and they all take turns saying, no, that's fine. I'll stay home. You three go, no, I'll stay home. You three go, no. And then they all agree that they all go or none of them go. Finally, May is like, you know what? Okay, one last time. And she turns into a panda, and the famous Canadian band Destiny's Child sings Bootylicious as the party thrives. Grandma and her posse leave after she makes her daughter, May's mom, promise not to let May out of her sight. May's mom goes to check on her sleeping daughter, but finds May has snuck out and also finds the evidence of their lie to their parents and exploit the panda to go to the concert fundraiser evidence all under the bed and the mad stack of cash. Back at the party, her friends are like, hear me out. What if you don't do the ritual and stay as a panda woman? After Tyler's party, they have enough money for all four to go, and there's a great shot of the girls as they dance and cheer on the roof with the Toronto skyline in front of them. It's then they realize that the concert in Toronto isn't tomorrow on the 18th. It's on the 25th, 1 week later, the same night as the red moon. And then Tyler's like, get off my roof and get back to the party. I bought you. And May is just enraged. She snaps and she turns into the panda again and dives off the roof and tackles Tyler, and she's about to go. Come on. She's about to go. Famous Canadian MMA fighter. Famous Canadian boxer. She's about to go. I got nothing. I can't think of any. She's about to go Donovan Bailey on his ass. Tyler's parents and May's mom all show up at the same time, and they're like, what in the blue poutine hell is going on? Mom lays into May's friends and is like, how could you exploit this for money? And May does nothing and goes home with her mom. Time passes. It's the night of the concert. Her friends sadly order 3 tickets from the box office. That's a sad moment. There's 4 town signals in the sky, like the bat signals, and May's family's like, what is that crap? It's also the night of the ritual, like I said, so all the relatives are there eating supper with her. Personally, I'm happy this is going to go as planned, and she's not going to turn into a panda and end up on stage rocking with 4town. Some old guy at the table is their guest, and he has 50 years experience as a shaman. Grandma gives a speech about being a curse as a woman. She must banish the beast within. This movie reminds me of like Sideways. Remember that dud of a film with the Sandman in it? Every scene was like, are they talking about wine or are they talking about life? And this movie's like, are they talking about the giant red panda or are they talking about menstruation? I mean, I guess honestly both sound like curses. Dad comes in and has a heart-to-heart with his daughter. Dad talks about the one time he saw his wife, May's mom, turn into the red panda. Why was she so triggered? She, May's mom, got into a fight with her mom, May's grandma, over him, her dad. He says, you can't suppress emotions forever. You have to make room for them. See, ladies, when you're feeling like uncomfortable and in pain and angry because you're menstruating, just talk to a wise man. He'll make it all better. It's time for the seance. They put May in a circle and chant in Cantonese. The circle glows and she goes into this dream sequence where she's in a forest pushing through a mirror. And as someone who watches a bunch of horror movies, like a lot of horror movies, this looks like an exorcism. She sees the panda leave her body as she's crossing over. Then she flashes back to all the fun she had being a panda and the joy she brought the world as a panda and doesn't let it go. She comes out and she tells everyone, no, I'm keeping it. Funny scene where she's the panda and she's trying to leave out the front door and every family member is like physically trying to hold her back. I don't know why that made me laugh out loud, but it's a really funny visual. She breaks free and runs off. Mom is freaking out and I did not see this coming, but Mom is so angry she's totally also going to change into the red panda. But before we could see that, May is charging into the Sky Dome as the red panda and changes back into a girl just as she lands in front of her friends. They run into Tyler, who's a 4townie as well. He's covered in 4town merchandise. That's funny. Also, Sky Dome. Wow. The place where Hulk Hogan wrestled the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7, and the place where Hulk Hogan wrestled The Rock at WrestleMania 18. Sacred grounds. Skydome. Wait, she used the Panda to sneak into the concert. She doesn't actually have a ticket. She didn't pay for a ticket. The concert is going great, but then giant Mom Panda sticks her head through the Skydome roof and screams for her daughter. Mom is like Godzilla size. She scoops up her daughter and breaks up the four-town concert. Everyone's running scared. Mom says, "This isn't you." May says, "This is me. This is me. I like boys. I like loud music. I like gyrating. Deal with it." The family arrives and they need to do the ritual now on the mom as well. To stick it to her mom, May twerks. This is weird. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about this. I'll be honest. Took me out of the movie a little. I was championing May this whole time, but this scene knocked me into a sad dad mode, and I'm like, girl, get your ass out of the air. Regardless, May is telling off her mom, just going all in and letting her have it like a true Canadian kid. Because see, deep resentment to our parents for keeping us down is such a Canadian thing, and here it is. Mom Panda gets knocked out and she's too big to be dragged into the circle for the ritual, so Grandma turns into a giant panda, as do all the family members as well. They all pull giant Mom into the circle and begin chanting, but they can't sing loud enough because of the size of Mom, so her friends start singing into a mic, and now four towns start singing as well, and they're singing in time with the chanting. It's kind of cool. If I was a kid, I'd be like, this is pretty awesome. The crowd is back cheering and dancing. Everyone in the circle is in the circle when it starts glowing. Suddenly May is back in the mirror forest and finds her mom, and her mom is an awkward teenager just like May. She's crying because she got so angry she lost control and turned into a panda and hurt her mom like Grandma. So this is a cycle that keeps repeating itself, people. Also, this is the new Disney. Instead of just killing the parents like the good old days, toxic family relationships are the new franchise antagonists. In the forest, they see all the ancestors, and Grandma hugs Mom and she says she's sorry. They pass through the portal, and the red pandas are exorcised from their bodies one by one. Everyone goes through except for Mom and May. They take their time. Mom goes through, but then May doesn't want to. She finally figured out who she is. She's not gonna take the portal. Mom says she's sorry if she taught May to be hard on herself. She yells, "May, the further you go, the prouder I'll be." And like, that's good. May stays in Panda World. Then back in Toronto, we end where we began. "I'm 13 years old" speech again. May, the magic red panda, is now the main attraction at the temple and brings in the crowds and lots of money for the family. So now Mom exploits this. Cool. She says, "We all have an inner beast, and a lot of us never let it out. How about you?" Credits over, a four-town song. I was so pumped to see a Tim Hortons in this movie, and I missed it. I must have been looking down and writing when it happened. Original songs by Billie Eilish and Phineas and Ferb. I don't know. Solid little movie. And okay, I get it. Like, be yourself, but is "let the monster out" a socially responsible message in 2022? Like, I think the world would be a lot better right now if people kept their inner monsters in check a little bit more, am I right? They should have a disclaimer like, here at Disney, when we say "let the monster out," we mean twerk to a boy band song and disobey your parents, not, you know, and with anyone and everyone. I'm like, into heaps of trouble. Don't let your inner monster out if it's gonna do any of that. You feel me?
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the